Okay, so let's jump right into it. We're diving deep into the world of AI today. But this isn't just any AI we're talking about. This is something pretty revolutionary. We're looking
Mhm.
at DeepSeek R1. And um, from what I'm seeing, it's changing the game.
Oh,
AI used to be all about giving us the answers. Like you ask a question and it spits out an answer. But DeepSeek R1, it's different. It's not just about answers. It's about thinking, like actually showing its work.
yeah, it's really something else. I mean, think about it for a second. AI models have always been kind of like black boxes, right? You put something in, you get something out. But what happens in between? Who knows?
Right. It's like magic.
Exactly. And DeepSeek is like pulling back the curtain. It's letting us see how it arrives at its conclusions.
So it's about transparency then.
Totally. And that's a huge deal in the world of AI.
Now we've got a bunch of sources to dig into today. We've got a YouTube video that shows DeepSeek R1 in action.
Oh,
And there's also some chatter from the AI community on Reddit and Hugging Face.
yeah, that YouTube video is a must watch. They put DeepSeek through a bunch of tests, and it's pretty mind-blowing.
Okay, so let's talk about that. What kind of tests are we talking about?
Well, they start with something called the strawberry test.
The strawberry test.
Yeah, that sounds pretty basic.
What is it? Like some kind of AI taste test?
Uh-huh. Not quite. It's more about how DeepSeek approaches even simple questions.
Okay, give me an example.
So imagine you ask DeepSeek, how many R's are in the word strawberry?
Okay, simple enough.
Right. But DeepSeek doesn't just count the R's and give you a number.
It does it.
No, it actually analyzes the question. It considers different pronunciations and spellings. And then, get this, it double checks its work.
Wow. I mean, who knew counting R's could be so complex?
Right. It's like DeepSeek is approaching this like a careful student, making sure it understands the question and double checking its answer.
So it's not just about being right. It's about being thorough.
Exactly. And that's just the beginning. The video also shows DeepSeek tackling some pretty tough math problems.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like using formulas showing each step and even verifying the answer with different methods.
It's like having a built-in math tutor.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, so we've got counting R's and math problems. What else can this AI do?
Well, it also takes on coding challenges.
Coding challenges.
In the video, they show it solving something called a palindrome substring problem.
Okay, I'm not a programmer, so you're going to have to break that down for me.
Sure. Basically, it's about finding a part of a word or phrase that reads the same backward as it does forward.
Okay, I got it. Like race car.
Exactly. And DeepSeek not only finds the palindrome substring, but it chooses a really clever and efficient way to solve it.
So it's not just brute forcing its way to the answer.
Nope, it's actually thinking strategically.
That's impressive. I'm starting to see why people are calling DeepSeek R1 a game changer. It's like, it's not just about getting the right answer. It's about understanding the process, the how and the why behind it. So speaking of game changers, how does DeepSeek measure up against other AI models out there? We know it's excelling in these specific areas, but what about the bigger picture?
Well, you have to remember that DeepSeek R1 is still pretty new. It was created by a company called DeepSeek. They're a Chinese company, and they just announced it back in November 2024.
Oh, wow. So it's already making waves, even though it's the new kid on the block.
Yeah, it's definitely shaking things up.
But how does it compare to the big players, like OpenAI, for example?
Right. OpenAI has some very powerful models like GPT-4. They're amazing at things like generating text, creating art, and translating languages.
So it's not really a head-to-head competition then?
Not exactly. They have different strengths and are designed for different purposes.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Think of it this way. OpenAI's models are like master chefs,
Okay,
while DeepSeek is like a brilliant mathematician,
I like that analogy.
both incredibly skilled but excelling in different areas.
So it's not about which one is better. It's about choosing the right tool for the job.
Exactly. And in the realm of reasoning, logic, and transparency, DeepSeek R1 is really standing out.
And that's what's so fascinating about it. DeepSeek is showing us that AI can be more than just a black box. It can be a tool for understanding, for learning, for exploring new ways of thinking.
Absolutely. And that's what we're going to dig deeper into today. We're going to unpack why DeepSeek R1 is making such a big splash
Yeah.
and what it means for the future of how we interact with AI. It's funny, when you think about it, one of the things that has always kind of fascinated me about AI is how it reflects our own anxieties.
Oh, really? How so?
Well, think about it. Like, one of the biggest fears people have about AI is this idea that it will become so complex and intelligent that We just won't be able to understand it.
Yeah, I totally get that. It's like that classic sci-fi thing where the AI becomes too smart and takes over because we have no idea what's going on inside.
Exactly. But what if the solution to that fear isn't about making AI less intelligent, but making it more understandable? What if the key to controlling AI and like really working with it effectively is transparency?
Hmm, I see what you're saying. So if we can see how AI reasons and breaks down its thought process, it becomes less of a scary mystery and more of a tool we can use.
Exactly. And DeepSeek R1 with its step-by-step reasoning is like a window into the AI's mind. It's like it's saying, hey, this is how I'm thinking. This is how I got to this conclusion. And that transparency is huge for building trust and making AI a collaborative tool.
You know, it makes sense. It's not just about preventing a robot uprising or something, right? This kind of transparency could be so valuable in all sorts of fields where AI is being used.
Oh, absolutely. Think about healthcare, for example. Imagine an AI is helping doctors diagnose patients. Wouldn't you want to understand why it's making certain
Oh,
recommendations?
for sure. Or what about in finance, where AI is being used to make investment decisions? Seeing the logic behind those choices could make a huge difference.
Exactly. It's about trust and accountability.
It makes you realize that transparency in AI isn't just about feeling comfortable with the technology. It's about making sure it's used responsibly and ethically.
Yeah, and it could have a huge impact on research and development too. By understanding how AI solves problems, we can gain new insights, identify areas for improvement, and maybe even inspire new breakthroughs in how we humans think.
So it's not just about making AI better. It's about using AI to make us better thinkers.
Exactly. Now think about how you use technology every day. Search engines, navigation apps, social media, all of these are already being shaped by AI. Now
Hmm.
imagine if all of those tools could explain their reasoning to you.
Wow, yeah, that would be a game changer.
Right. So instead of just getting a list of search results, the AI could tell you, hey, I'm showing you these results because they're most relevant to your search based on these factors.
Or like instead of just giving you a route on a map, your navigation app could explain why this is the best way to go, taking into account traffic instruction, or even suggesting a scenic route if you have time.
Exactly. It's like having a personal assistant who not only does things for you, but also helps you understand why they're doing them.
It's about taking the mystery out of technology and empowering you to make better decisions.
Mhm.
This all sounds incredibly positive. But are there any downsides to this kind of technology? I mean, are there risks we should be aware of as AI becomes more sophisticated and integrated into our lives?
That's a really important question. It's important to remember that no technology is perfect. We need to be cautious and consider the ethical implications as we move forward.
That makes sense. So we've talked about DeepSeek's impressive capabilities and how it stacks up against other AI models out there. We've even explored some potential implications for our everyday lives. But where does DeepSeek fit into the bigger picture of AI? Where do we go from here?
Well, I think DeepSeek R1 is a sign of a much bigger shift happening in the world of AI. It's not just about creating AI that's smarter or faster anymore. It's about creating AI that we can understand, trust, and collaborate with.
So it's not just about what AI can do for us, but how we can work together to shape its development and make sure it's used for good.
Precisely. And that's a conversation that we all need to be a part of.
You know, it's amazing to think how far AI has come, and it feels like things are changing so fast. Where do you think DeepSeek fits into all of this? We've talked about its capabilities and how it's different from other models, like the ones from OpenAI. But where does it stand in terms of its overall impact? Is it really a groundbreaking development?
Oh, it's definitely making waves. DeepSeek R1 is really challenging our assumptions about what AI can be. For a long time, the focus has been on creating AI that can perform specific tasks, like playing games, translating languages, or writing different kinds of creative text formats. But DeepSeek is different. It's not just about doing, it's about understanding. It's about giving us a glimpse into the why behind the what.
And it seems like that shift toward transparency and explainability is really resonating with people. We're seeing so much excitement and discussion around DeepSeek, even though it's relatively new compared to some of the other big names in AI.
Right. And remember, DeepSeek R1 was developed by DeepSeek. It's a Chinese company, and they're really making a big splash on the global stage. They just announced it back in November 2024. And it's already gotten a ton of attention from researchers, developers, even everyday users who are just curious about where AI is headed.
It is fascinating to see this kind of innovation coming from a company that's not one of the usual Silicon Valley giants. It shows that the field of AI is becoming more diverse and that we can expect to see groundbreaking developments coming from all over the world.
It's a sign that the future of AI is going to be shaped by a global community, by thinkers and innovators and creators all over. And that's what makes it so exciting.
This whole conversation has really got me thinking. If AI can learn to think like us, will it change the way we think too? I mean, imagine if we could all learn to solve problems and analyze information and make decisions with the same kind of clarity and logic as DeepSeek R1.
That's a great question, and it really gets to the heart of why DeepSeek is so intriguing. You see, it's not just a tool for solving problems, it's a mirror reflecting our own cognitive processes back at us. It makes us think about how we think and challenges us to become better thinkers ourselves.
So it's like AI is becoming a partner in our own intellectual journey.
Hmm.
It's pushing us to expand our capabilities and explore new ways of understanding the world.
Exactly. And as AI continues to evolve, I think we'll see even more of this collaboration and coevolution between humans and AI. It's not about one replacing the other, it's about finding ways to work together to achieve things that neither could do alone.
That's an inspiring thought. So as we wrap up our deep dive into DeepSeek R1, what's the one key takeaway you want our listeners to remember?
Well, I think the big takeaway here is that DeepSeek R1 is more than just an impressive piece of technology. It's a sign of things to come. It points toward a future where AI is not just about automation and efficiency, but about understanding collaboration and the expansion of human potential.
It's a future where AI helps us not only to do things differently, but to think differently. And that's a future worth getting excited about.
Absolutely. It's a future where the lines between human and artificial intelligence become more and more blurred. And that's going to lead to new discoveries, innovations, and ways of being that we can only begin to imagine.
Well, on that note, I think it's time for us to surface from this deep dive. Thanks for joining us on this exploration of DeepSeek R1 and the future of AI.
It's been a pleasure. And keep those brains engaged and those minds open to the possibilities.